What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another 2021 new products video. Today we're talking about Gerber, and I got Matt from Gerber here.
How's it going, everybody? Glad to be here, Jamie.
You guys have a lot of interesting stuff on the table, and I think the stuff that caught my eye when we were talking about this earlier was kind of more of the multi-tool and gear area.
Absolutely.
So we have some new multi-tools on the table. What do we got going on?
Perfect. Let's jump into it. So on your side, you have the Armbar from last year, if you want to grab the version that we launched last year. So it has a multi-tool pack in there. You have now in front of you the Armbar Slim. Okay, so what you have is a dedicated driver. So on that, the bit tip will be reversible. You get a Phillips and a standard, and then you will have a full blade with a liner lock that on the other side of it. So you get the driver, the knife, as well as a little bit of a pry bar. And bottle opener.
So I'm super excited to see the slim down version. Like I've been saying this on quite a few videos, but I'm always excited to see when companies simplify and slim things down because I'm always kind of a light in the pocket type person.
Sure.
So that's super cool. And you also have two versions of this.
Correct. So you've got the dry version and I have the cut version. Okay, so what it is a dedicated scissor on one side. Open that guy up and you have a spring-loaded scissor when you still have a dedicated knife on the back. Bottle opener, little pry bar, as well as a knife fully open with the liner lock on it. So yeah, these are definitely whatever your preference to carry on a daily basis is, you can kind of get narrowed down and just have one thing on your pocket or possibly in your keychain as well.
Yeah, so like depending on what your use case is, like I know there's a lot of people that really enjoy bit drivers, right?
Correct.
That might not be your thing. So if you need a little bit more, precise cutting control, you can go with the cut version as well.
And then there's just people out there that they don't consider it a multi-tool unless there's a scissor in there.
Right.
And so this is definitely geared to that guy or gal.
So yeah, if you're into something like Swiss Army knives, that's like a great option for, maybe a little bit more beefy type of multi-tool in your pocket.
A little bit more metal and definitely same size pack as what you're used to in something like that. But I feel like got a little bit more durability and a different, idea of what a jawless multi-tool might look like.
Cool. Well, speaking of jawless multi-tools, you guys have another one on the table.
Yep, so this is gonna be called the lockdown. And so you have the dry version of it. So that guy has a flip out driver. You can see that little detent goes in there. And specifically once you on the driver side, you have the Phillips and the standard. So you can pull that guy out and flip it over. And then once you close that up, you have 4 dedicated tools. Looks like you have the number 11 for precision cutting. Okay, when you close that guy up, you'll also have an awl. And then and then you'll have a knife and a file. And the cool thing on the little file portion is too, you get a little scraper bar on there too on the flat end, which is kind of very underutilized, knowing that most of the warranties that we get on multi-tools are people using the blade to pry stuff. So we're always trying to find ways to keep people from using their blade as a pry bar or something that it's not. So that's a great way to utilize that.
I really like that touch. Like, I think use case, like there's always people that are going to be, ripping stickers off things and trying to get things cleaned off.
Sure.
And that's a great option to do that task.
Yep, that chisel is kind of an underutilized item, and then it will help out. And so on both of these two, you do have a deep pocket carry. So this is ideal for somebody that doesn't want to have a dedicated knife or maybe doesn't want a leather pouched tool they carry on their hip. This is very pocketable, very streamlined, but still very durable. Okay, so you have the dry version. I have the pry version, okay? So this is a big piece of steel. As you can see, it has this huge chunk end for prying specifically, if you do something like that on the daily. And then the tool pack, you have that file with the chisel. Your dedicated blade. On this side, you actually have a scissor on it. So that's just kind of the different variation instead of having the awl. And then lastly, that number 11 replaceable blade. So that is kind of a cool part in there. So you get a lot of different functionality out of this item.
Yeah, okay. I like this because there are certain people that just have no use for like a plier end, right? Yeah. And this gives you kind of a lot of the functionality that you would get out of, something that has a pliers without the bulk of the plier portion.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
Cool. All right, so moving on from multi-tools, getting into a little bit more knives, you have the Downwind series. What's going on here?
So we're excited. This is a new version of a hunting series that we have. So last year we launched the Exo Mod, which was a snappable sheath to kind of curate your kill kit, whatever item you wanted. So this year we're kind of going back more to a traditional style of hunting knife. Okay, so the Downwind series, as you'll see here, this is the Caper version of it. So you got a polymer handle with a layered G10, and very cool on this guy. You have that choil to kind of get real good control with. And then you have the jimping out on the tip, so any kind of carving that you need to kind of do on the animal. So I have the black version and you've got the green version. Very cool about these guys is the weight. You know, they've got a lanyard hole in all of them, but when you feel them, I mean, they're gonna disappear into your pack. And so I think that's the idea of this guy too. So all of these guys that we'll go through have this waxed canvas sheath, which is very cool for the item that it is. And so we've gone through the caper. Next we have the full fixed blade version. Okay. Once again, jimping on the backside, so you can really have good control on these items. And then lastly, what you've got there is the Ulu, or the Skinner version of it. So the idea behind these were to try to make something that was traditional, but had some modern touches, right? So the Ulu is very a traditional item, and the G10 and the polished blade kind of elevates that knife into like a modern time frame.
Right. So one thing I wanted to touch on about these that you had mentioned was how lightweight they are. So when you pick these up, kind of your more traditional full tang knife, it's a lot heavier than this.
Sure.
And the interesting thing about all of these is, you know, the polymer handle, you got the G10 kind of touches on here.
Right.
But when you pick it up, it is so incredibly light, and I love that that is a feature that you can definitely use while hunting, because you're gonna be throwing stuff in a pack, and every ounce that you can save is gonna be valuable to you, especially if you're kind of out west hunter, you're hiking mountains, you're doing all that type of thing. So
correct.
This is not a bushcraft knife, this is a hunting knife.
That's correct.
This is not a knife you wanna be batoning with, but if you're looking to save some ounces in your pack, this is a great option.
Yep, no, I couldn't agree more. This is going to do everything that you need while you're camping or hunting, but at the same time, yes, this is specifically to be the workhorse knife as you're carving up your animal.
Love it. Cool. So that's a Downwind series. A lot of cool knives in that series. Very lightweight. The cool design and the sheath too. I think the sheath is the other thing that's really cool. You kind of got that wax.
Sometimes the sheath becomes a throwaway, whether you just make it nylon or leather or whatever you might do, but you know, wax canvas is definitely a popular item today, and so being able to get that on all these items makes it a really cool item, and kind of just a nicer touch to set this thing off.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool touch on the sheath there.
Yep.
Okay, some more kind of tools, axes,
outdoorsy.
that type of thing, outdoorsy stuff. What do we got going on here?
Yeah, so we were fortunate enough, we sent some of our product managers and designers to bushcrafting school to try to understand what those guys really need when they go out and all they have is their pack. And they're basically foraging, hunting, and to figure out how they're gonna get through their day, their night, their week, whatever they're doing out in the wild. So this is the Bushcraft Hatchet. So as you come off, you got your regular nylon sheath. And as you look at this guy, it has a huge, robust, forged head on it, right? So you can see you've got your blade forged into your back and hammer side. And as well, this is actually a forged piece that goes down through the neck of it right here. So this individual piece is made, and then they wrap the body of this axe around it, okay? Right. So the best part about this is it's basically fluted out so you can get some lightweight out of it, and this is gonna make it super durable. So as you can see, you've got some rubber overmolds for any kind of choking up, small detail work you have to do, and overmolds where you're gonna use the hatchet most, okay? And one of the cool, unique items is it has this little detent. So you get this little piece that goes up into the handle, and so you've got 5 feet of paracord. It has space exactly for the size of a mini Bic lighter. Does not come included, okay? But you can see, you can kind of stash that guy up in there. So you've got elements that you would need out on the trail for whatever you might encounter.
I love that feature. I feel like this is a perfect kind of just fire starting kit almost.
Yeah, for sure.
You can go do some heavy work, you know, when it comes to wood gathering and that type of thing, but you also have everything you need in there to actually start a fire. And I love that you guys have put in kind of this overstrike protection, because I've actually broken axes in the past, right? Where you kind of miss your log, whatever you're chopping, right?
For sure.
And then you end up hitting kind of right below the blade and you just snap the head right off, right?
Correct.
This is great because that's not gonna happen.
Yep, so you do, like, it is nice to have one forged piece of steel. So there's tons of hatches and axes in the marketplace that have a forged head with a hammer back, but to drop it down into the actual neck of it is a pretty smart move, like what you're talking about. Like, that's where you break your $175 hickory Swedish hatchet on the first strike and you feel kind of stupid, right? So this is gonna be definitely built stronger, much more durable. It's gonna be a great lifetime tool for you. So
yeah, some people are definitely less skilled at the woodsman thing than others.
You can count me in that category. So the next cool part about the Bushcraft Hatchet is we've got the Bushcraft Axe. Obviously the larger, beefier version of that still has the same feature set with the forged head that drops down into the body of the axe. Still have rubber overmolds for all of your detail work as well as the handle. Kind of cool part on this guy is the little hidden piece you have 2 separate compartments. So you still have room for your mini Bic lighter, as well as you could drop a little bit of kindling or anything else you want to put in the handle of your axe. So I neglected to mention on the first one, this does have a little rubber gasket. So it is going to be hopefully water and sealed tight to the elements out there.
So if you wanted to put tinder or whatever above the lighter, that's going to keep it dry.
Yep, and you've got 9 foot of paracord on this because it is a little bit longer versus the 5 foot on the hatchet version.
Cool.
Cool, and both these come in 2 different colors. I obviously have the slate and you have coyote.
Sure. So everything you love about the smaller one, just in a larger package.
That's correct.
Perfect. So axes. Let's actually get into some knives now. So you got some
great.
interesting designs on the table, some really good kind of budget-friendly options as well. What do we got going on
Absolutely,
here?
that's what we do best is bring popular on-trend items available to the masses. Okay, so this is the Fuse, the first version that we'll go through today. As you can see, this is 7CR steel, Warncliffe style blade, and you get this little electroformed piece of metal pressed into the polymer handle. Kind of a nice detail with the flat little axle cover. And then you do have a little bit of a cutout on the top so you can see the barrel spacers. Very cool on this knife. You got a thumb stud, but this is a super deep pocket carry. So this thing is kind of gonna disappear into your handle. So I have the black on black version and you have the sage green and stonewashed.
Yeah. A few things to note about this one. Again, you were talking about the pocket clip. This is actually a pretty nice pocket clip and it's flush, which is cool. I always love to see flush screws on pocket clips. The action's really smooth, so that's really cool. And I really like the overall design and profile of this knife. I think this Warncliffe just kind of speaks to me personally, but yeah, definitely a cool budget-friendly option from Gerber.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're excited about this guy. That's the Fuse.
Cool. What do we got next?
Next up will be the Zilch. And the Zilch kind of stands for nothing, right? So this thing will disappear into your pocket and it weighs nothing. So this thing comes in at under 2.2 ounces, which is pretty amazing. But this little guy packs a lot of detail in my opinion. So you have either a nail nick or a thumb stud opening. You get that cross hatch variation on the polymer handle. You have a huge lanyard hole, and which kind of cool, you have this sawtooth design in the spine, which is pretty unique. And still at this budget-friendly knife, you still get barrel spacing and a deep pocket carry. So I have drab red. These are all liner locked, and they even have a little bit of detail on the liner as well. And you've got coyote in black.
For sure. We were talking, Carson, video guy over there, other video guy, he was saying that these teeth on the back kind of look like a Venus flytrap.
That's right.
It's just kind of a cool little detail, I guess. It kind of locks the knife together almost, and it does actually come with one on the back as well. Yeah, super lightweight, which I think is definitely a plus. Like I said, I'm always a fan of making things lightweight.
Yep. So this will disappear in your pack, your pocket, wherever you need it. And then I also have the black with stonewash too. So we have 3 different variations.
Cool. So there's definitely some cool color variations.
Absolutely.
All right, what's this? What's this next one?
So this is the Hyperflip. This is a big boy. Okay, so this is an assisted open knife from us. As you can see, we have our version of the pivot lock. This is a D2 steel, and this is a micarta handle. So I've got black on black, and you've got stonewash on green.
Yeah. I guess one thing to notice is like it's got a pretty hefty assisted opening.
Yeah, it snaps open real well, and it does actually have a little locking mechanism on the back to keep the blade open, as well as you can lock that guy in place in your pocket too, so you don't have any accidental deployments.
Sure. And this one's actually set up for left-handed. It is reversible pocket clip as well.
Absolutely.
So you can get that from left-handed to right-handed, whatever you want there, and it's going to be completely ambidextrous.
Yep, nice. We've got a little step up in blade steel going to D2 and micarta, so we're trying to continue on with the quality items at a price point market.
There we go. It's a little bit, it's accessible. There we go.
Accessible, there you go.
All right, and then the last one on the table.
Last guy is, I'm very excited about this. So this is the Affinity. I have the aluminum scale version of it. This is a super slim, like executive style pocket knife, something you'd pull out for maybe a nicer dressed event or something you would not be afraid to show off at a party. So what you get is this longer style, slim, sleek blade. You have a cool Gerber logo on the axle cover. And once again, barrel spacing on a frame lock knife. So what you will see on this is the patented Gerber pinch plate. So as you're opening that up, you're not pressing down on the lock bar, so it makes it a lot more easy to open. And one of the cool features on this guy is a single-sided thumb stud that you can kind of slide up to wherever you want on the knife. So I have a 7CR aluminum version, and you have the super cool D2 copper version, which I think is going to be awesome.
I know I've kind of notoriously not been a huge copper person just because of the weight thing, but if you're a person that loves patina, this is for you.
Yes, sir. I agree. No, that thing's going to wear nice. It's going to look real well over time, and it's going to be uniquely yours.
Yeah.
So
the thumb stud thing is a neat touch too. So I noticed kind of when I'm opening it, it's like, oh, that's up there a ways, but this is actually slid all the way up to the top, so you can adjust it, way far back, in the middle, whatever your preferences.
However it fits you ergonomically.
There you go.
So that's going to be it on our knife platform for this year.
Cool, man.
That's the Affinity.
There's a lot of cool stuff you have on the table. I'm always excited for the kind of the gear side of Gerber every year, and you guys have come to the table with some really cool items. But again, some interesting budget options when it comes to the knife side as well. So I think that's all we have on the table. Matt, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having us.
And thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our new 2021 product videos. We have a bunch of them. There's going to be a few more coming out within the next week or so, and we'll see you guys on the next one.